Laws of Attraction, Chapter 9, Scene of the Crime. We're all stunned by Gabe's announcement that actress Eliana Velasquez has been murdered, and you'll be representing the prime suspect, her boyfriend Marcus Sharp. But McGraw-Byrne never takes on murder cases, or any criminal cases for that matter. Even for the murder cases, this is a celebrity murder case. It's like the Tudakon of luridness. Wait. So you're stuffing lurid inside salacious, or is lurid the turkey, or just accept the metaphor? Why is this case the game? I've certainly never tried a murder case before. I'm guessing none of us have. True, but this particular murder case will get near unlimited press. It could boost his firm to the next level, so we need to get to work. Gabe passes the case folders around and you flip them open. Shot once in the chest, close range, DOA, boyfriend of victim, client. Yep. Her trainer discovered her single gunshot wound in the chest. Most likely she had died within minutes. Crime scene photos are on the next page. Crime scene, phone in hand. Broken, kicked in door, handprints or footprints. The lock looks damaged. Wouldn't that point to a break-in? Only the deadbolt was damaged, and it was at least partially broken before the crime. Locksmith was set to come next week. You said the trainer's the one who found her. How'd he get in? The police have personalized codes that only work in the daytime. In order to get in the overnight, you either need a universal code, which updates every few months for safety purposes, or someone would have to buzz you in. They must have high-end security system if that's the case. What's the footage show? Nothing, I'm afraid. The daytime guard comes on at 6 a.m. If the overnight footage looks normal, procedure is to delete it. Sounds like one hell of a coincidence. You say coincidence, I say conspiracy. Either way, we don't have footage from the night in question. No alarms were triggered and there are no security cameras inside the home. So it looks like she most likely knew the killer, which doesn't bode well for Marcus. I can't be alone in thinking this is a huge risk for the firm, and an unnecessary one as far as I can tell. I mean, he was arrested on the spot. There's no evidence to muddy the waters. Hell, no one's even looking for another suspect. Why would they? As far as police are concerned, that call is coming from inside the house. Wait, you think they're trying to pin this on Marcus? But he seems like a nice guy. But TMI ran a story on him last week about him paying off a kid's tuition. All good deeds in the world aren't going to protect him from racial profiling, Quinn. And the worst part is, if he weren't famous, the public would probably accept this narrative, no questions asked. Okay. Alright, we're doing this, Pixelberry? We're doing this? Okay, we're doing this, apparently. That's why he hired us. No hard evidence to surface. The pressure is on to solve this fast. It's our job to slow things down and put the focus on what can be proven. He literally was found on the scene of the crime. But okay. If you ask me, we're in for an uphill battle. No matter the risk, Marcus deserves a little strong defense, especially considering the rush to point the finger at him. You see Gabe smile at your obvious conviction. The police rushing things looks like our best avenue. If we can prove a improper chain of evidence, Marcus could walk. Good, that'll give a starting point to drill down on during the flight over. You don't mean... Sadie flew in Marcus's arraignment, but until she can convince the judge, he's not a flight risk. There's no way he's leaving LA, which means we're going to him. One cross-country flight later. You've checked in the luxurious LA hotel. Gabe waits for nearby family to pass and leans in, all of you lowering his voice. A client made bail and is currently occupying the penthouse suite. Really? A little flashy, don't you think? Not to mention, if you want to stand in wraps, maybe pick another room, any other room in the hotel. To be fair, the suite is his entire world until the police clear the crime scene. Then the penthouse is much easier for hotel security to monitor. And we're not worried. Secretly holing up in a hotel will make him look, well, guilty. Fortunately, the press haven't tracked him here yet, but either way, he didn't have a choice. He's here until the police clear the scene. Marcus is waiting. Drop your things in the rooms and meet me at the Penthouse as soon as possible. By the time you enter the Penthouse, a few minutes later, Gabe is already there, calming and clearly shaking Marcus as he paces the floor. First past the post, per usual, Marcus. This is Quinn Michaels, one of the associates who will be helping with this case. Hi, Quinn. Normally I'd shake your hand, but today I can't seem to get mine to stop. Considering how your day's gone, I get it. But, for what it's worth... if anyone can clear your name, it's us. Not liking the sound if... I'm telling you, I didn't do it. It's just a saying, dude. He slumps into a nearby chair and sinks his head into his hands. Gabe quickly claps him on the back. We believe you, Marcus. All Quinn meant was you're in good hands. Oh, right. Thanks. Before we dive into the casework, I just want to say how sorry I am for your loss. Thank you. Believe it or not, no one has actually said that yet. It's still not real for me, you know? I keep expecting to get a text from her. I can only imagine how difficult it must be to grieve someone you love under these circumstances. He nods solemnly. It's even harder to have the whole world think I'm the one who killed her. Soon enough, the rest of the associates arrive. Once you're all settled in the sofa, Gabe turns to Marcus. Let's dive in, Marcus. Why don't you walk us through what happened from your perspective? He shakes his head slightly, as if he can barely believe it himself. His foot taps the floor with raw, nervous energy, and as he speaks, his voice breaks. I was in bed that night, by 11. I'm training for a role where I play a boxer, so I needed a lot more sleep lately. The next thing I know, Ted, that's Allie's trainer. Well, anyway, he's screaming his hat off. I went to see what was up, and well... that brings up a good question. I have to ask... no amount of heavy sleeping is gonna make you, from, like, literally the room over where you can hear a scream, not hear a gunshot. So, do you trust Ted? You think he might have done this? Not necessarily, but it's certainly worth looking into further. Would be, but we already know Ted's entry code wouldn't have worked at night, unless you think he and Elena were... Hell no, Ted and his husband are very happy together. Then I think we can move on. What else can you tell us, Marcus? You must have heard something that night, right? What did I just say? This is so stupid. Honestly, no, I didn't hear anything until Ted started screaming the next morning. Really? Gunshots are known to be pretty loud. F you, Pixelberry. Marcus leaps to his feet to resume his pacing. I don't know, man. After that, it's all kind of a blur. The next thing I'm sure of is the officers reading me my rights and putting me in a squad car. I know this is hard, but you should know no one here doubts you. We just need to think like the police would, or a prosecutor. Yeah? Well, the police think I did it. They took one look around and started barraging me with loaded questions, trying to trip me up. What time did you get home? When'd you kill her? She said something that pissed you off, didn't she? Is that why you killed... He stops mid-sentence and comes to a halt, obviously using everything in him to fight back the tears. The room is deathly silent as you all collectively give him a moment. Gigi is the first to speak. Marcus, what did you tell them? Once I realized they were interested in making me Allie's killer than finding them, I told them I wanted a lawyer and clammed up. Good man. That was absolutely the right decision. We should get to the scene as soon as possible. Check things out. Let's not rush this. Anyone else have questions Marcus might be able to clear up before we head on? Just one. Can you prove you were in bed all night? Shut up, Quinn. How would you describe your relationship? How are you right now? Sorry, how's that more important than the crime scene? Maybe it's not, but I appreciate you asking. Because after all this, I don't think I'm gonna be okay for a while. Marcus presses his back to the hotel wall, slides down to the floor. I can't stop seeing her like that. This whole thing has been one long nightmare, but at least I got you guys on my side. I just have one more question for Marcus. What's your training regimen for the movie? 2 hours of yoga in the morning, a 5-mile jog in the afternoon, 2 hours of weights in the evening, plus changes to my diet. I bet you're drinking a ton of water too, huh? Yeah, my trainer's having me drink at least 4 liters a day. Holy shit! Must mean you're peeing a lot. Probably in the middle of the night too, huh? What are you getting at, Gabe? Just that you would have noticed Eliana wasn't in bed if you got up, right? I must not have needed to pee that night. Oh, 4 liters of water? Dude, listen, I don't even drink half that and I gotta get up and pee in the middle of the night. If you say so. Yeah, if you'll excuse me a minute. Speaking of all that water, I'm drinking, you know? Marcus hurries across the suite into the bathroom at the far side. You lower your voice to a whisper to Gabe. I have to know, do you not trust him? Overall, yes, I trust him. I'm confident he had nothing to do with this. But then, what does that have to do with anything? It might not directly impact the case, but it proved my hunch that he's hiding something. We need to find out what that is and why as soon as we can. You hear the door open. Moments later, Marcus rejoins you. Sorry about that. So, where were we? Is there a possibility he was not there? He's cheating or hitting the swill? I think we were just wrapping things up, which means we should move on to the next steps. We should call a press conference as soon as possible. Really? Is that the best move? Marcus turns to you. Clearly, he already trusts you more than the rest of the team. If you ask me, we need to get ahead of this. If we come out swinging, it will look like we have nothing to hide. We can control the narrative. I wouldn't have thought of that, but it makes sense. It's not like we can stop the press from pouncing on the story. Most people have powerful illogical belief that a show of transparency indicates innocence. Huh! Huh! You've never visited any social media website and or the internet in your entire life, apparently. But I am innocent. We all know that, Marcus. This is your best chance to make sure the rest of the world sees it too. I guess that makes sense, but I don't really know the script for something like this. Not to worry. A couple of us will be right there to step in and answer questions if you get overwhelmed. And we can do some prep work as well. We just need to decide who would be best at your side. I'm gonna tap out right now. I have pretty strong feelings about how this was handled, and I don't think that'll be helpful right now. I'm happy to step up, Gabe. Or, you could go with me. I mean, we all know this would look great on TV. Gabe turns to you and Aisling. Actually, I was thinking, Aislinn and Quinn for this. Do you think you can take point? I'll do it myself, but I need to get down to the police station and chat with some folks in charge before some paparazzo has a chance to wheedle details out of an unsuspecting desk sergeant. He leans closer, smiling at you. If I were looking to distinguish myself in the competition, this would be an excellent opportunity to do so. You get the jam. You dumb choice. Don't worry. We'll make sure Marcus is ready for anything the press might throw at him. Then I'll meet you all back here as soon as I can. The rest of you, read up on all the documentation we've got so far. The rest of the group flies out, leaving you, Marcus, and Aislinn. So, where do we start? With the basics, and then we stick to them. You want to stay very focused and keep things brief. Deliver one message well. The last thing we need is you getting tripped up. She's right. This is our chance to set the terms. We need to make sure we have a really clear idea of what those terms are. That makes sense. So, what's that one message we're sticking to? That you're innocent. Keep the focus on your innocence. You have nothing to hide, because you did nothing wrong. It's simple, and people respond to it. I like it. Plus, if questions come up that you don't know how to answer, you can say that you're confident the evidence will show your innocence. That seems easy enough, works for me. Looks like we've got our strategy. What's next? We should probably run through some possible questions from the media, right? Yeah, question 1. Did you do it? No! Good idea. Quinn and I can always step in if they cross a line, but it will look better if you can confidently answer even tough questions. I'll do my best. Alright, I'll go first. Watch her shift into character, body rigid, chin pointed out. If you could say anything to Elena, what would it be? Just that I love her, and God, I can't believe she's gone. Sorry, I know that probably wasn't the right answer. It's actually okay. Let's try another question. I'm gonna make this a tougher one on purpose, okay? Finally nods. Marcus! If it wasn't you, who killed her? Was it a secret lover or dealer? Who? She never did drugs. Who do you think you are? So you did it then? I mean, without any other plausible suspects. I don't know what you expect us to believe. This is insane. Okay, pause. Let's regroup. Marcus takes a moment to collect himself because he became unraveled quicker than, Sorry, that hit me harder than I thought it would. I'm trying to think of something that would become unraveled very quickly. Coffee package, maybe, for me. Don't be sorry. You're going through something impossibly hard, and you're doing really well. Thank you, but what if something they ask me just catches me off guard like that? This could do more harm than good. First off, take a deep breath. Then, don't apologize for being human. Grieving isn't just okay, it's what people expect. Don't be afraid to let it show that you're hurting. So what, you want me to cry on stage? Oh, for the love of... I want you to let yourself feel whatever it is you feel when you're up there. You're a human being. How are you feeling now, Marcus? Like I got a game plan, and someone who spent the morning in a cell, that's not nothing. Thank you. That's what we do. And you're right, that's not nothing. It's progress. What do you say we make some more? You run through a few more variations, possibilities, and eventually Marcus seems calm enough for the task. I think it's time to call the press conference. Really, are you sure I'm ready? Absolutely. Let's go make sure the world sees that you're innocent. An hour later, cameras flash as Marcus approaches the podium. You and Aisling behind him. Thank you for coming today. This whole thing has been incredibly difficult, but there's one thing I want you all to know. I am innocent. I haven't done anything wrong, and more than anything, I want the police to find out who killed my girlfriend, Eliana Vasquez. She was... See, the emotion of the situation is starting to get to him. Come on, Marcus, you can do this. Then he takes a deep breath. He whispers something under his breath that the microphones don't pick up. Don't hold back. Let me reiterate, I loved her, and I would never, ever hurt her. I want to urge anyone who knows anything about what happened to come forward. He takes a step back from the microphone, working to get his emotions under control, and you step forward. We can now take a few questions. Reporters lob a few questions to Marcus, but he answers each of them calmly and clearly, and then a new reporter steps forward. Why would McGraw-Byrne even take this case? You've never defended a murder suspect before. Be honest, are you still in it for free publicity? I'll, let them answer that, I suppose. I can take this one. The truth is, at McGraw-Byrne, we believe in standing up for justice. Mr. Sharp has been falsely accused of a heinous crime. As attorneys, it's our duty and privilege to see justice done in this case. There's absolutely no evidence that Mr. Sharp had anything to do with what happened to Miss Velasquez. We intend to find out who was behind this and make sure they're punished for their vicious, brutal actions. The crowd murmurs appreciatively as you step back while Marcus fields a few more questions. Aislinn whispers to you. That was so polished. Did you rehearse that? No, it's called the truth. Actually, I just asked myself, What's Sadie saying? I kind of just flowed from there. That's a trick I'm definitely stealing. Behind her back, Aisling reaches her hand out to yours, squeezing once. Should have known I could always count on you. Marcus is unflappable as he handles the reporters one at a time. You smile knowing how much this has helped the case. Gabe and Sadie will have to be happy with how this went. No, all this did was help our job. The next morning, you all meet up in a private section of the hotel restaurant. Gabe's already there, and he's ordered a massive breakfast spread. I caught the conference last night, Quinn. You did well, and so did Marcus. I'm so glad you think so. Aisling and I make a great team. He reaches out for your hand beneath the table, squeezing it once. I'm just happy Quinn was able to think on his feet when that reporter started throwing grenades at the firm. You and me both, thanks to you two. I think we have a distinct advantage that we didn't have yesterday. Moving on, let's start by looking at the coroner's report. Fastest folders around the table, and when you flip open to the first page, oh man, I knew I shouldn't have gone so hard on the biscuits and gravy. There's no need to dwell on the pictures. That's better left to an expert anyway. Oh my god, blood is not my thing. Really? You're squeamish? Why do you think I wound up in a courtroom instead of an operating room? Gabe flips to a page on a dense text stabbing a finger at the center. Cause of death was confirmed as a single gunshot wound to the heart from a .22 caliber handgun, close range, judging by the gunpowder residue. Interesting. That makes me wonder, were shell casings at the scene? Shell casings? Why complicate things? The one question is whether or not Marcus owned a .22. I think Wynn is onto something. An amateur probably wouldn't think to pick up shell casings, especially if they just killed someone they loved. My thoughts exactly. As it happens, no casings were recovered, and there was a single bullet hole in the wall. No bullet. So you're saying whoever did this made sure to remove the evidence? Yes, which would be highly unlikely if this were a crime of passion. Turns to Martin. To answer your question, Martin, Marcus doesn't own a .22 or any firearms for that matter. The more relevant issue, if you ask me. Good news all around. Still, all this adds up to be his reasonable doubt, so if you're all ready to continue. No neighbors reported gunshots, but until we see the property, it's not clear how important that is. I'm guessing the police recovered some prints from the scene. They did. But they're not going to help us much. Apparently Marcus and Elena had a large joint birthday party recently. There were hundreds of prints in that room that don't belong to the immediate household. Were there hits on any of them? No, unfortunately. Martin flips through his pocket. Did the coroner determine time of death? I'm not familiar with the format of these things. It's between 11:30 and 1:30 a.m., which is when Marcus was sleeping. Again, not groundbreaking, but we'll take it. There has to be more to this. Something we're missing. But if it's in these reports, I can't see it. I think any real insight we're going to have will come. Gabe's phone pings, and he glances at it quickly. At the scene, which makes perfect timing. The police have officially cleared us to enter the house. I'm heading over now, before any well-meaning employee decides to start cleaning up evidence. Visiting the scene of the crime will help us understand us. Plus, it would be a chance to show Gabe I'm taking this seriously. Oh my god, you mean as an attorney? No, really. Diamond choice, though, I'm sure. What did I say? You can always use an extra set of eyes, right? Absolutely, but your eyes is as impressive as yours, Quinn. He holds your gaze for a moment longer, then turns to smile to the other associates. And that, my friends, is what initiative looks like. Wait. It's getting him points in the competition, because I can join you as well if you... the initiative was what impressed me, Martin. And you should know by now everything you do is part of the competition, so get researching. I guess Quinn, shall we? But, no one said it counted! Everything counts, you dummy. Gigi bursts into laughter as you leave. He ain't the brightest bulb in the package. Clearly he's a little burnt out. The two of you call a town car and start making your way through the city. Traffic is giving you plenty of time to take in the broad LA streets. It's been so long since I've been out in LA. I must say, not the circumstances I was hoping for on a visit. You fall silently as he gazes out the window at the passing palm trees. Can I ask you something? Of course. What do you want to know? Seriously, when people ask that and they go, "Can I ask you a question?" You just go, "You already asked me a question." I was just wondering, is this your first time trying a murder? It's my first high-profile murder, but far from my first. Public defenders run into every type of crime at some point through the sheer volume. I almost forgot you were a public defender in the past life. I do my best to erase all memory of my naive do-gooder that once innovated this body. As a legal tactic, of course. I wish I could do that. He flashes a smile at you, but it fades as he looks out the window, clearly lost in thought. Whatever made Gabe finally leave that job, he's not as over it as he pretends. Soon you arrive at the mansion, a sprawling complex in Hollywood Hills. Dear Lord, this place is huge. Making you eager to leave New York? My place is plenty big, plus where else can you get views of Central Park and Gray's Papaya within a block? Also, it's cheaper in New York than LA, but I digress. You have views of the park? What sort of mythical place did you find, Quinn? Oh, was that not the usual first apartment? I guess you'll just have to stop by and let me know if it measures up. Maybe I will. Gabe surveys the expansive house. I will say, in a home this large, I'm not quite sure where to start. Step one has to be heading inside, right? See? I know it would be worth it to let you tag along. Okay, clue number one, the house is very massive. You're the one with the initiative today, Quinn. Where to now? Let's search the main room. The main room looks spotless, aside from the tape outline on the floor. I think the outline kind of makes it real, doesn't it? It does, which only drives home how urgent it is we find the answers we need. You look around the edges of the room, you pick up a picture of Eliana riding atop a mechanical bull, her whole face lit up with laughter. I'm so sorry this happened. I promise we'll keep Marcus safe and get justice for you. Gabe crosses the room, look at the picture alongside you. I don't think this is a movie shot. She looks too young. I think this, her file said she was from Oklahoma originally. Clearly she still feels strong ties to her past. I'm not seeing much else in here, are you? I'm not. Move on. Yeah, let's search the bedroom. You head up to the bedroom, where you're immediately struck by something. I know we only just met Marcus, but this does not seem like his style. Listen, I sleep on a thing on the floor, okay? Women are what accentuate most places. 99% of men will agree with me, and most women will too. Agreed. In fact, I'm not saying anything that points to him in here. No personal effects, there's not even a second phone charger. Okay, that's very specific. If I didn't know better, I'd say this was her room, not their room. Exactly. You move over to the closets. The first is packed with chic outfits, glamorous gowns, and the second... That's strange. All it seems to be here and is a couple shirts from the dry cleaners, a single pair of men's shoes, and then piles and piles of bedding and random decor items. Not just bedding, look at the back, behind the nightstands. Doesn't that look like a poster from Marcus's first film? Looks like they did share this room once. Interesting. The two of you search the rest of the room, but nothing else jumps out at you, and you decide it's time to move on. Whoa, I think this qualifies as an apartment in New York. Definitely bigger than the first place I rented. What are you looking for? Not sure, but you can learn a lot about a person from their bathroom. Ask anyone who's ever poked through someone else's medicine cabinet. Yep, except you won't find my medicine there. You'll find toothbrushes. The two of you start pulling open drawers and cupboards, looking under fluffy pillows, soft towels, and poking through drawers filled with stylish tools. The birth control pack expired over 6 months ago. No sign she's filled the prescription since then. He stocked up on condoms, though. Not what you expect from someone in a long-term relationship. There could be some other explanation, but have you found anything that might belong to Marcus in here? Now that you mention it, no. Might not mean anything. Oh, don't discount your instincts, Quinn. The absence of something can be just as important as what you might find. The two of you make your way through the rest of the drawers, turning up nothing more interesting than a nail polish. Well, there's no smoking gun, so to speak. But have you noticed how little of Marcus there is anywhere in this house? Listen, he might be a bonk chicka wow wow boy. There are barely any men's clothes in the bedroom closet. No pictures of him. There wasn't even a second toothbrush. I suppose they could sleep in separate bedrooms. You look out the window and notice something. Let me guess. A guest house. I have a hunch they might be living even more separately than that. Gabe follows you through the yard and around a sizable pool to a smaller, more modern house on the far edge of the property. What if the real person he didn't hear, or the real reason he didn't hear the shot, was that he wasn't even in the building? It would explain the discrepancy. We need to look inside. Bingo! It's clear that the pool house is currently inhabited by someone, and judging from the photos on the fridge, it's Marcus. Excellent instincts, Quinn. I'm impressed. But why wouldn't he tell us he was living here? That sounds like a good question to ask Marcus. He moves over to a nearby console table and starts going through the drawers. Shouldn't we ask him first? No, he gave up that right because he's our client. He knew we were going to search the house. If he didn't know, that could mean finding this. That's not my problem. Our duty isn't to maintain his privacy, it's to clear his name. This isn't part of his life. He's comfortable being honest about we need to focus on our duty first. The two of you start moving through the pool house, pulling up drawers, closets, looking for anything that seems out of place. At the back of the dresser drawer, you find... Whoa, this just keeps getting weirder. Is that an engagement ring? If he was planning on proposing, why was he living in the pool house? This is a very, very good question. One which I think we're now ready to bring back to our client. You don't think he'll be angry that we snooped? Oh, for the love of God, we went over this, Quinn. 2 points from you! I don't think we'll, know we snooped. Or he'll know. At least not for now. You're not gonna tell him what we know? The fact that he didn't tell us, it's an important piece of information. Until we know how it fits, we should keep it to ourselves. But thanks to you, we have the vital information. Well done, Quinn. Well. So, you remember in the one celebrity book where she had the fake relationship and all that? There's a possibility that he was with someone else. And they were just having a quote-unquote celebrity relationship going on. You know, yeah. Let's head back. Tell the others what we found. You return to the hotel to find the others still busy with research. Any news? Forget news, I want pictures. I bet their interior design is stunning. Was it stunning? I mean, yeah, but I promise that's not the most exciting thing we found. Oh, it was the real murder, sitting out front waiting for a couple of lawyers to swoop in and save the day. No, but this was hidden at the back of the drawer in the pool house Marcus is clearly living in on his own. Wait, are you saying... If Marcus and Eliana were still in a relationship, it was probably a lot rockier than Marcus admitted. But, I'm sorry, am I missing something? Why would he be thinking about proposing if he functionally moved out? Maybe he just hadn't got a chance to return it yet. I've heard that happens to guys sometimes. Yeah, okay. Oh god, this is huge. Can you imagine what a field day the tabloids would have if they found out? They definitely should not be hearing about this. As you all have this conversation in an open restaurant. No, of course not. But man, that's such a bummer. they were so good together. Or at least I thought they were. Maybe they were, who knows? All I know is we need to have a serious conversation with Marcus sooner than later. Gabe checks his watch. Marcus should be meeting me back here in an hour to start prepping him for his deposition. I'm guessing the prosecutors are just as eager to start moving on. This is the police event. G.G. Martin, you're with me on that? Clearly, you want your best people on it. Makes sense. What would you like the rest of us to do, Gabe? If Marcus and Eliana weren't what they seem, that the people around them may have noticed something. I'm sure you all know she had a starring role on Varsity Murders. As it happens, they're in the middle of reshooting their latest episode to accommodate the changes to the cast. Here's where you head to the set, see what you can learn from her co-stars. They may know things Marcus doesn't. We get to go to a real TV set, right? Wow, this is work, not a field trip. It can be both. Sometime later, you walk onto the studio lot where Varsity Murders is being filmed. When you arrive, you're clearly in the middle of a scene. Didn't your teacher or parents teach you any respect? Respect? They didn't teach us anything. Unless you count how to abandon your kids in a monster truck derby. The only real monsters at the derby were them. The first actor sighs, laying a hand on the girl's shoulder. Well, maybe that was the only way to convince the mob that children were gone, but maybe they also left a sign to recognize them by. He pulls a pendant out of his pocket, half a gold heart. Shocked, the girl pulls the matching pendant out of her pocket, holding it up to his, and they click in place. Wait, Dad? And cut. Amazing. Citizen Kane, Ichihara. That's what real art looks like. Yeah, okay. Suddenly, the set is buzzing with energy and motion, and people hurry to move scenery instead of cameras. Touch up makeup. You carefully maneuver through the bustle just as the director notices you. Excuse me, could you help us? We're the attorneys representing Marcus Sharp. We were hoping to speak to some of Eliana's castmates. What a tragedy, especially since these reshoots are costing an arm and a leg. Of course, you can talk to the cast. Wow, that's terrible. Thanks. He gestures for the two younger actors to join you. They hurry over. It's Teddy Birch, and Kaylee McGinn. They knew Eliana best. Kaylee, Teddy, these guys are lawyers, and whatever talk amongst yourselves, I got dailies to go through. He saunters off, leaving you with Eliana's castmates. Poor Allie. I can't believe it when I heard the news. Are you trying to find out who did it? Yes, more or less. Marcus Sharp has hired us to represent him, and finding her killer is part of that role. Poor Marcus. It must be hell, especially since the media's already going rabid. Anyone who's spent more than 5 minutes with Marcus knows he couldn't have done this. Sounds like you all knew Marcus and Eliana pretty well. I was wondering, did Eliana mention anyone new in her life? You think she was cheating on Marcus? We're more interested in knowing whether you think she could have been. Of course not. I mean, have you seen Marcus? Who would ever run around on a guy like that? Oh, well, there's 8 billion people. I'm sure someone is prone to. Just gonna point that out. Honestly, any new relationship is something we want to know about, even if it wasn't romantic. Had she brought anyone new to the set recently, or... Not that I remember, but she did seem a little on edge recently, right? Oh, definitely. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Did she say anything odd, or mention any names you didn't recognize? Two actors look at each other, then Teddy shrugs, smiling. Honestly, there was nothing specific. It was just a vibe, you know? She was always... Alright, you two. Back to work. The director waves impatiently at the actors. With apologetic smiles, they move over to the new set. Actually, what would you say to some extra work? Who, me? Yeah, if you're up to it. You have the right look. Oh man, I'd come for a chance to be on TV, so she shows cool as this. I could see that working, but since I extended the offer to Quinn, first, when did I introduce myself? I'll let him choose. With love to be on your show. Perfect. Let's get you over to hair and makeup. Think I look just fine as I am now, but screw you. Before long, the hair and makeup team have fully primed you, and the director comes over all business. Alright, context, Brooke is trying to land Chester in detention by creating a lewd artwork and putting his name on it. You're the substitute teacher and the subject of Brooke's frame-up masterpiece. This is the moment when you see the picture. I want you to improv a reaction. Whatever feels right, but you know, the more dramatic the better. So you're saying overreact. That's a bit plebeian, but I suppose it works. On that note, places! Step into your marker and prepare yourself. And action! Oh my god, have you seen this? It's horrible! The substitute is going to lose his mind. You move to your mark, trying very hard to ignore the camera in your face. You approach the bulletin board and stare at the artwork. You see the director in the background gesturing at you to react. Here goes. I should lose my freaking mind. You slap your cheeks, or your hands to your cheeks, and scream. Ah! You hold the scream for as long as possible, and then you let your eyes roll back and collapse dramatically to the ground. And cut! Incredible. That's going in the episode teaser for sure. Maybe you missed your true calling. I have a feeling there's more to an acting career than horror movie screaming, but I won't rule it out. Alright, now that we got that, I think we're done for today. Great work out there, people. Drives offset, leaving you alone with the actors. Smiling, Kaylee turns to you. Was there anything else you needed to know? We were about to go out for drinks, but you could join us if you wanted. Totally. We really do want to help out. Allie was the best. Aislinn gestures at you and bow to move closer, and lowering her voice to whisper. I'm exhausted. Even if they have something useful to share, I don't think I'd catch it. But someone should go with them. I would, but I promised some college friends I'd meet them up in Koreatown. Grandy, do you think you could take one for the team? If you do go, Quinn, we'll be very sure Gabe knows you were the one who went the extra mile. Only you. Oh, alright, yeah. I promise I won't snake you again. Listen, did you know I can strangle you with that tie? You do it again, I swear to God I will. Sorry to rush it, but we're heading out. The place is pretty strict on reservations. And for good reason. It's the coolest speakeasy housed inside the old silent film star's mansion. The vibes are off the charts. Seems like they're not quite ready to open up. But if they felt a little more comfortable around me, that might change. Diamond choice. Absolutely. Amazing. Let's get going. Then our reservation is an hour and a half. Doesn't that leave us plenty of time to get there? Have you been to LA in traffic? Oh, you sweet summer child. You're ready to learn about LA traffic. Sometime later, you've arrived at the silent film star's mansion. There's a line at the door and the wraps around the property, but the bouncer sees your group coming and waves you inside. Wow, I'm guessing it's not easy to get a reservation at this place. Perks of being a regular. And also a teensy bit famous. Remind me to hang out with the actors more often. You're escorted into an elaborate bedroom. The trappings are old-fashioned, but you can't help but notice all the magician's paraphernalia. Top hats, wands, even a portrait of Harry Houdini in chains. A gorgeous burlesque dancer reclines on the bed. Password? Abracadabra? Hell of a guess. I guess it makes sense. The brilliant lawyer gets it in one. You may enter. Not even going to say anything. That's what she said. God damn it. The dancer shifts her body seductively to hit a button hidden in the headboard. The entire bed swivels to the side and reveals a set of stairs. Question, what happens if I get the password wrong? Do I get spanked? Okay, that's cool as hell. Enjoy your stay. She bats her eyelashes as the three of you start down the narrow staircase. The previous owner of this place was a huge magic aficionado, so there's tons of crazy stuff down in the speakeasy. But don't take our word for it. The music thrums as you step into what feels like a different world. Wait, is this whole thing underground? It's right under the mansion, and it's fully soundproof. Legend says it was built during the Prohibition, and it never once got raided. Huh. Okay, as a lawyer, I know that's a pretty big deal. You look around the room as all the various trinkets on the shelves and tables. Is that a magic lamp? Is that someone's bra? Is that a crystal ball? You know what? I'm a fan of Aladdin. How do you think you place the orders for drinks? She loves the lamp. Rubs the lamp 3 times, the microphone crackles to life. How may I serve you today? Can we get 3 hat tricks, please? Right away! Moments later, a panel slides open beside you with 3 shots. Abracadabra. This place is so dramatic, it almost gives me the creeps. Clearly, that's because you haven't hit the dance floor yet. Oh, speaking of, I love this song. We have to dance to it. I mean, join us, Quinn. Dance parties are kind of the initiation rite in our group. Huh, seems like they're warming up to me. Wouldn't hurt to make a stronger connection before turning to some serious talk. You let them drag you onto the dance floor. You start to get into the rhythm, their joy becoming infectious. You glance over at Kaylee. She's looking at you, mischievous, twisting her pretty lips. But you can also feel the heat of Teddy's gaze on you as they sway his hips to the intoxicating music. I'm going to assume this turns into a 3-way. I'm just getting the feeling of this. You move closer to her, matching her swaying motions. Who knew lawyers had moves? Oh, trust me, I'm full of surprises. She turns to face you, slowly shimmying closer. I'm glad you came tonight. Dancing in a secret speakeasy with a gorgeous actress? Wouldn't miss it for the world. She bites her lower lip, eyes glued to your swaying form as she inches closer to you, leans down to whisper in your ear. I think I'm the one who really lucked out. I should... Oh, listen, we're living vicarious. Your hands find her back. You close the distance between your lips, pressing your body to hers. The music seems to fill you both until there's nothing but the song. The motion of your body is her lips against yours. She gently sucks on your lower lip, tongue flitting into your mouth. Your heart pounds to the rhythm under her touch. Don't stop now. Her hands run up your back. You can feel her nails through your fabric. Your breath hitches as her hand moves lower. Her kisses grow fiercer. Now this is my idea of a party. She presses herself hard against you as you wrap your arms around her waist. You sway to the beat, lips never far from hers throughout the night. Eventually, you all get tired of the dancing and you follow Teddy and Kaylee back to the table near the bar. That was awesome. I'd forgotten how great the dance floor gets here. Remember that time Eliana convinced a DJ to do a snowball? Like middle school dance style? God, that night was the best. Yeah, I remember. Allie was the best. I wish I'd said something when I noticed, but I mean... She shakes her head and you can see she's on the verge of saying more. Now's a chance to learn what they know, or at least suspect. You mentioned back on the set that Allie had been acting differently. And do you mind me asking what was bothering you? It was probably nothing. Maybe, but you never know what might help, you know? Like right now, even just a hint of where to look could point us towards the real killer. We should tell him, Daddy. You never know what details might matter, right? No, that's true. So the thing is, Allie and Marcus used to be super social, right? Like always throwing parties, planning nights out, you know? And Marcus would visit her on set all the time. Okay, might sound like a really fun couple. The funnest. But recently, I mean, that's the last time Miss Allie asked any of us to do anything after work. Months, easy. Haven't seen Marcus in even longer. Exactly. And when I'd ask Allie to come out with us, she always had some excuse. I don't think she was cheating. Honestly, I got the sense that she was getting obsessed about something. She's always really been intense like that. When she first started on the show, she created socials as her character. It was like high schooler and her downtime. It became her whole life. Exactly. Allie was an awesome person, but when she had something in her sights, she was relentless, and we both sensed that she had found a new target. I just wish we could tell you what it was. Huh, even knowing this much is a huge help. In fact, let me buy you a round as a thank you. You head over to the bar to get some drinks. When you return, the pair's chatting adamantly, and you join in, letting the night turn away from the crime for the time being. That's nothing concrete, but if Allie was the type to get obsessed, she might have been blinded to the dangers. And hopefully she left a trace of something somewhere of what had started taking over all of her time and energy. You spend some more time chatting politely, then excuse yourself and head home. It's not the entire picture yet, but it's a start. Whoa, 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 whoa! They didn't let us do the thing that they've been letting us do throughout this entire book yet? Oh my god, I'm shocked. Really? The next morning, you wake up to a text from Gabe telling you to pack up and meet him in the hotel lobby. Quickly freshen up, throw your things in your suitcase, and hurry downstairs. Listen, what happens in LA stays in LA, right? Good, you're all here, Marcus. Depositions prep went well. Aislinn, Bao, Gwen, anything to report from the set visit? Not from the visit itself, but I went out with Allie's co-stars last night because I had a hunch. And they told me Allie tends to fall into obsessions, and that they had sensed a new one was starting. They weren't sure what it might be, but if she was really focused on it, we might be able to turn something up. Great work, Quinn. Obsessive people tend to miss what's in front of them, including potential threats, digging into what this could point us to the killer. Well, I think we're all done here. And frankly, I think a change of scenery would help us, and more importantly, help Marcus. Just then, the elevator dings, Marcus emerges, suitcase in hand, as paparazzi that had been invisible before suddenly swarm him like locusts. Little privacy, guys. Alright, everyone, move to formation to protect Marcus. He's a priority. Cars are waiting outside. Let's get to the airport. We're heading back to New York already? Oh, thank God. The sun has started to melt my brain. But, Gabe, you know New York isn't paparazzi-free, right? Marcus is priority. How does this help? New York's full of reporters, true, but I never said we're going there. Then what's the play? We're going to Sadie's upstate home. That's the perfect base camp while we plan our strategy. And best of all, it's private. You're ready for an intense few days. Sadie will be there, and she'll expect your best. Marcus joins your group, and you all rush to the cars waiting for you outside, doing your best to shield him. All while you can't shake the sinking feeling. We have a lot of threads, but what do we have with the case? Will your upstate retreat be the thing you need to crack open the case, or it's just repeating? Keep playing to find out. Alright, and speaking of which, thank you all for watching. I love your beautiful faces, and without further ado, you know what to do. It's there on the screen. Very much appreciated for any and all support that you can give this channel as well as this community. By doing so, again, helps this channel as well as this community. There are links down below if also you want to help support yours truly, especially this community as well. And, you know, some of the things that you see on your screen and the things down below don't even cost you a single penny, so that would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, I will be streaming later on Twitch. There's also a bunch of content that will be coming your way. Not just visual novels, but a lot of new games, new updates, and a whole 9 yards. I know that because of choices and everything else, there hasn't been much content coming to YouTube as of late. That's because I've been working on so many things, as well as dealing with things in my own personal life. So, thanks for watching. Peace out.